Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to PCM21. We're on career mode. It's episode 49. We are in the middle of the Cebu tour, and this one it's stage 3 of 4. It's just an interesting race. This is not a major race or anything like that, but it's a race that does have some potential. Plus, we're pretty much flat broke. We're not in the red anymore. We're back into positives, but we need to make some money. We need to get some earnings through some races. And while this one won't be a huge race, a podium finish could go a long ways to bringing in a little bit of cash for us. So I decided I'll focus fairly heavily on this race. Well, anyway, we have 7 riders in the break. They are 2 minutes ahead, so we still have a ways to go. There's 27 kilometers left in this stage. We've got a little descent just ahead of us, and then a false flat for a little while, and then I'd say we're looking at probably a 17-kilometer climb, give or take. And because of a hefty chase, there's some fatigue. There's fatigue in the legs already. Martin Guerrero sits 3rd overall after a similar stage to this one that he finished quite well in. He's just 11 seconds off the race lead and looking pretty good. Stage 4, team time trial, and I have a group of guys here that are fairly good in their time trial ratings. Unfortunately, they're a little better time trial than prologue, and it's a short team time trial, so it's going to be mixed bag on that, but I still think we can get at least a decent result on that, meaning if we can hang on to a decent result in this stage, I think we're on for a pretty high placing in the GC. Now, no Burlikovs, so I don't think we're necessarily going to be favorites or anything like that, as the breakaway have actually pulled out a little bit more of a lead before we begin the climb here. Now at 18K, and we're hitting 3%, so it is above 3% now, even though it's going to get a lot steeper here in about, I'd say, 2 kilometers time. It's going to get a lot steeper, and it has eased off for the time being. Now, this is not exactly the toughest crowd we're going to go up against. I mean, this is not an elite group. It's not an elite race. 14K. I'm interested in thinking, you know what? Go big or go home, right? We'll set an 88 base. So I'll be able to lead it out. We've got Kovchi. We have Luco. From there, it looks like Maida and Roman are looking a little bit stronger than Rivera's -4 today, but let's gel up on both of these two. And Rivera start 86. Now, Rivera would normally be pretty good, but again, -4 race day condition, just nastiness right there. Okay, there's Roman. There's Maida. Hope these guys get through the pack, navigate their way. He's got Luco on his wheel. Rivera makes it to the front. Maida has to dig a little bit deep on that. There's Kovchi. Gonzalez Albiol is got a Decathlon rider in between. And there's Martin Guerrero. Good. Okay. And Rivera is nearly done. And we're down to 11K to go. We're going to gel up for Maida. So Ramon's not going to last too long. And Rivera is done. Maida not holding the wheel terribly well. He is somebody who has fallen off more than once here. Okay, Roman. Done. On to Maida, inside 10K. Now, my last group, my last 4, definitely going to last a lot longer than the other guys, presumably. As Maida is now done. On to Luco. Nikias Arndt back to the front. Decathlon turning the tempo, controlling the pace. Meanwhile, it's 8 kilometers to go. I think the pace is probably pretty good for now. Maybe an 87 will help this last a little bit longer. Set these guys to auto while we have a moment. Rivera about to go out the back. Peloton's at 99 right now, and here comes the breakaway. Coming up on him here. Coming up on 3 of them anyway. The group is slowly thinning out due to such a frantic pace. And we're at 6.5K. Let's get Kovchi going. And on to him. I think we can go 86. As we're definitely getting late on. And Gonzalez Albiol actually is struggling due to his poor race day condition. Finally, we hit the front of the field. And let's swap these two. Okay, here comes the big attack. Jorgensen, Guerrero, Thalman, Finch. Kikovci keeps it in check. And those guys are going to be hurting a little bit. Oh, wow. We got down here quick. 2.6K. 2.6K. Martin Guerrero. Now 2 kilometers. He's in good position. We're down to 18 riders. 1 kilometer. Martin Guerrero punching it out towards the finish. Vetkov and Martin Guerrero pushing for the line. He is going to run out very soon. Can he hang in there long enough? Sprint, 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 sprint. Vetkov's going to get him. Vetkov's going to beat him to the line, but he will get second place. He's going to get a 6-second time bonus. And a healthy gap to Vingegaard, who's a much better climber, much better recovery. He should have easily won this thing, but he's not going to. Okay, that's a really good result. We're looking already at 40 seconds. We're going to be in a fantastic overall position. Vetkov was one of the ones, I believe, behind us in the standings as we were third. Gonzalez Albiol is going to lose some time. He's going to drop off that 10th place, but overall that's not too bad. Yeah, second. Second is good. Nearly had the stage. Martin Guerrero was definitely overtook Vetkov on the way towards the line, but then I backed off a bit, seeing that red bar was fading quite quickly. Backed off a little bit, but it wasn't enough. He still ran out of red bar before the line, and then Vetkov overtook him there. But still, second place and time bonuses over others. This is going to put us in a fantastic position heading into the final stage. Same time, 29 seconds, 38 seconds, and then 57 seconds to that next group. Now, meaning we lead the race overall, 20 seconds ahead of Vingegaard, 42 ahead of Guerrero, and then a minute and a half to Finch. Vetkov, Thalman, over 2 minutes to Jorgensen, nearly 3. So it's a one-horse race for us now with Gonzalez Albiol out of contention, but more importantly, we lead this race overall. Into the final stage with a 20-second advantage, but as you can see from the timing charts, the 11 teams that have gone through, they're spread out by 46 seconds, so it can go pretty quick. I think we can maintain probably an 88 effectively over this 9.5 kilometer course, meaning they can push, but they can recover just a little bit. I have 2 weaker riders. I have 1 with a poor race day condition, and then we have 5 guys that can probably just about get the job done. Now, we can't push too hard right now because it's an uphill swing, so we've got to try to get through this uphill swing first. You can see everybody's feeling it. Gonzalez Albiol on a -2, Maida on a -3. Maida's gonna fall off, struggle to keep up. No, he's gonna be okay, and he's going to recover, and everybody's recovering. I think we can now push 89 or more the rest of the way. We'll see what kind of recovery we are on for. Rivera's tired, Maida's tired. Rivera's not going to last long. Yellow bar is totally fine for these guys. 2.5K, push 90. It's downhill. Rivera dropping off. Luco is looking really strong. Luco lead us through. 99. Second, 3 seconds down. There you go. That'll protect that lead. 20-second advantage overall. There's no way we're losing that now. There are still some teams to come, but they're not going to beat us by more than a couple of seconds. I mean, we sit third place. Hodeg is the final rider out on course, I believe. He is. So there you go. not a stage win. It looks like we could have turned it up after the hill more than we did. I recognized that slight descent you could push a little harder. I didn't recognize how much harder I could get away with pushing. I think we could have immediately upped that into the low 90s, not just 90, but 93, maybe 94, and made it to the end. And that might have been enough for 3 seconds. But again, we are more of a time trial team, not a prologue team. So that kind of came out the way it did. But Martin Guerrero wins by 30 seconds in the overall. Comfortable in the end. And that is very encouraging for us because we have Berlikov, who has leveled up like crazy. But then there's a significant drop-off after that. Now, Martin Guerrero is pretty good, and he's more well-rounded as a stage racer at this point, as he is both a climber and a time trialist, where Berlikov is a pure climber. But that being said, Martin Guerrero is nowhere near the climbing capability of Berlikov, and so whatever losses that Berlikov would take on a time trial, Martin Guerrero is going to lose that much and more over numerous climbs in a race like the Tour de France or the Vuelta or the Giro, any of those other races where the time trials are less important. He could definitely compete. Positive race day condition, objectives, well timed, and Berlikov can compete. Martin Guerrero, same sort of thing, but here he was actually low fitness. He is building fitness right now, so he had no advantages, no bonuses. He actually had a negative on numerous stages, a couple stages. He was okay overall, but to claim the win under those circumstances is a good sign. Of course, it was a minor race. So it wasn't a major race. So for that, okay, fine. It's not that huge of an achievement. He actually lost time at the finish line. He lost 2 seconds at the finish line. He wasn't on my front 5. I wasn't paying any attention to that as they came through. I was just pushing. Luco ended up leading the thing through. But yeah, overall, good, solid race. We were third in the points classification. We were second in the KOM. We won the under 25s. Of course, we won the overall. We were second in the team classification. Ducanic very, very strong there. But for us to come away with the overall victory, yeah, happy. Very happy. Healthy win. Speaking of healthy, it's not what I would call healthy, but the balance is looking so much better than it was a month and a half ago. As we entered June, we had a big negative balance. We have not only recovered that to a positive balance, but we've recovered that to nearly 50,000 now. Now, we have no additional races other than the Qinghai Lake race that's going on right now that I'm quick simming, meaning we're not going to get our results. We're not going to really come out with any money. Maybe it's going to be a few hundred, so we'll even that out to 50,000. But then we're heading right into the end of the month with the Tour of Utah, the Vuelta Castilla León, and the Volta Portugal Santander. So 3 races coming up, but they're not coming up until we get into the next month. We have enough money that we'll have maybe 10,000 left at the turn of the month, and then hopefully we can get enough in those races that are coming up because that's going to push us right on into August. But through August, you can see there are some races. There are some races in August, so we will earn some money. Hopefully that'll be enough to cover us for another month of expenses and get us into September. But it's going to take some results along the way. I mean, you're looking at this, and maybe we do enough to get us into October. I don't see us getting all the way to January, though. It's going to be really tricky at this point. Or I'm going to have to go in and sacrifice some additional staff, because right now we're still taking a negative. We cut out a mountain of debt. I mean, staff salaries was 81,000. We were at 175 a month, rounding up just a hair. 175,000 a month, where we were bringing in 116. So we were losing 60,000 a month. Now, I cut staff salaries down by releasing quite a few staff, but it's still 59,000. That's still a significant debt each month. That's still 35,000 that we're losing. And you can see, where we went, how we've bounced back thanks to all the national championships and everything, and a couple big results. I mean, you look at all these national championships, they didn't pay out big, but it adds up. It does add up, especially when you throw in the time trials, which definitely weren't worth as much. Tour de Suisse, that 35,000, that was a whole month of debt covered in that one race. So that was massive. But all the national championship stuff, I think only covered 1 month worth of debt. The Sibiu, Österreich Rundfahrt, those have been good. That's 16,000. But that's 16,000. Like, we won the Sibiu. The Österreich Rundfahrt, I don't remember where did we end up finishing on that. It was podium, 4th or 5th. It was good result, but it wasn't a win, I don't think. But the combination of these still only adds up to, a moderate amount of money. We still stand to lose another 20,000 this month. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to make more salary cuts before the end of the year, and then kind of let that carry over into the new year. And we're going to really have to watch out for our spending this next year. I'm going to be letting some riders go, and I'm not going to be re-signing as many, and I'm definitely not signing as many new riders. Even though we have the budget for it, our sponsor is going to be paying out essentially the exact same next year as it is this year. We need to cut back our expenses a bit. And I've pushed forward to the Tour of Utah, but straight to stage 3. The first 2 stages were punchy, so there was action, and I ended up losing time in both of them. As a result, my 2 riders that actually have a legitimate shot at doing something for this race, well, they don't have much of a shot now anymore. Isakov and Luke's not too bad, are okay time trialists, and they're 5 minutes down. We're 3.5 minutes down now with Mugisha as Mugisha sets off, and I'm still trying to find kind of what the happy zone is on how hard you can push the pace to make it to the finish without running out of energy. Aribe, we definitely went too hard and had to back off. Sato pushing a lot harder now. You can see Isakov, Luko, they have a deficit, but then there's a big downhill section, and that's part of what makes it so difficult to judge. Is you do need to be at a bit of a deficit, and then you recover that, but you need to balance that all out to make it to the end. Sato at 78 has gone a little deeper than what you can realistically do, and that is why he is gone back down. So 78 is definitely a little too hard. That's what pulls. There's Isakov. Isakov now starting that descent, so we'll see where he ends up at the bottom of this, if it's balanced. I know 78's a little too hard. 76 seems to be okay. There he goes. He hits the bottom. Yeah, he's got just a little bit left. I think 76 is probably going to be pretty close to getting it right. Now, Sato, Aribe, not time trialists, so they are way down the order. There's huge time gaps here. So even though we are down in the overall standings, you could gain a ton of time on today's stage. 34K is just a long period of time to be out there. Luke Shee's been out there quite a while, though, and I'm just starting him up. He definitely had some energy to spare. I was trying to do Mullabron there, but all of a sudden it just rolled us to Carpenter. John Oxford just went on top of Michael Garrison. Garrison is definitely known commodity as a time trialist. Mullabron, back off a little bit. You seem to have started a bit deep. Okay, Isakov coming up on the line. 2K to go. I think we can start pushing him a little bit harder here towards the line. Rolls under the 1K to go banner. And get that last little bit. 11th place. So yes, we can definitely muster a good time. Lugo, 99. 99, buddy. 99. We could have gone much earlier with him on that, but there you go. 8th place, minute 47. Those two are going to move well up the standings from where they're at. Mugisha start pushing out, I think, about an 80 towards the finish. Luxies can still go harder yet. He's got plenty of spare energy. Molebron, meanwhile, does not. He's on a -3, so our guy who is the highest placed is not going to finish terribly well. Mugisha, 22nd, not bad for a non-time trialist. Luxies, I think this is going to be a bit of a struggle. How to balance him the rest of the way, how to balance Molebron the rest of the way is going to be tricky. Molebron about to go into that recovery zone, and Larry Warbase is flying past him. 11k to go for Luxies. He's definitely burning energy fast here, probably too fast. So we'll back off again. Luxies sits 21st overall, 205 down. I don't think he's going to put up a very bad time, but I don't think he's going to put up the kind of time you need to really move up the standings either. 4k to go. Definitely hitting a bit of a deficit here. He's going to be running out. But inside that final kilometer, 338 down. Yeah, not too bad of a time. But Molebron, nowhere near the finish, and he's going to run out soon. Ouch. Oh, I would have taken it in a rebate type time. So the one guy who was okay placed ends up with the worst time of all. So Luko, Isakov, they're going to move up. I don't think we're going to be very well placed. So I think Tour of Utah, you can write this one off. This is not going to be something we are going to be doing terribly well with. But let's see how it compares to others. You never know. It's not like there's any big names here. Dang, talk about balance. There is our team. 4 riders within 7 spots of each other. Luxies just ahead, but we're all 4 minutes down. We're talking 25th. And not great climbers. Mugisha probably still the best bet as the best climber of the bunch. But yeah, I think we can write off that race as we're not going to pull much of a result there. We are also on the verge of turn of the month, and I was looking at something, and I think I'm going to have to make another sacrifice. We have 2 groundbreaking international reputation trainers combining for $30,000 a month. I mean, this is almost $45,000 a month just for these 3 guys. I'm going to hang on to our modern trainer. I think I'm going to get rid of our groundbreaking international and just go down to 1 key international trainer for groundbreaking. That's going to save me $15,000 a month, which means our $35,000 deficit will drop to $20,000. I'm just going to have some guys that are not getting properly trained, but you know, hey, whatever. So we'll do that just before the end of the month here. That'll help keep us in check. And then very soon, I need to go into my planner and sort out, not my planner, my squad sheet here, and sort out who has the expiring contracts, how much money are we saving, what's left on the books. I've got 2 expiring contracts to re-sign. That's it. Our 4 weakest riders, gone. Even though some of them have developed a little bit, like Grego, these guys haven't been developing. They've been with us for 2 or 3 years, and they're not leveling up. So I think our poor scouts gave us poor scouting reports on some of these guys. Debesay, another one. He's been with us for 3 years. He's still only a 69 overall. So Debesay, gone. Phytosa, meanwhile, was somebody who has leveled up quite a few times. He's 22 years of age. He's been with us for 3 years now, but he was a 62 when we signed him, something along those lines. So he should re-sign for minimum. So we'll probably bring Phytosa back as he's got some talent, but otherwise Aribe, age, gone. Molebron, not leveling up hardly at all, gone. And then out of these final 3, it's a little tougher decision, but Alves, having a classics rider is huge for us. We're going to hang on to him. Araroya, not doing anything. At 28, he's already leveled up, I think, as high as he's going to go. And he was already expensive, so we're going to save some money. And then Mugisha. Mugisha's the one I've been kind of debating on. But at 26 years of age, he is not going to level up very much more. And I suspect he's probably going to ask for 4,000 or 5,000. And I just don't want to do that. So I think it's going to be easy to replace with a young rider, 18, 19, 20, who does have plenty of potential and could be just as good, because we are targeting guys that are 72, 73, 74 overall now, and not in the 60s like what we were doing before. So we don't have to worry about those anymore. And that's a lot of money coming off the books. A lot of money for next season. But we still need to sign some guys. So I got to just kind of do the math and see what can we get away with, what can we afford, because finances are tricky. Now, if we're headed for World Tour, which I'll find out on the 1st of August, if we're likely heading for World Tour, we're not going to get better than what we have right now. Berlikov, Martin Guerrero, Igashin as our top guys, unless Jurcevic or Roman or one of these 73s pass them up between now and October. That's not changing. There's our leaders. We're not signing guys that are more expensive than that. Budget issues, remember? So we are still trying to sign guys that are 73, maybe 74. Slim chance that they're going to push up whatever our rating is, which, I mean, if you do the math on these guys, we're looking at 77, a little over 77 will be our average. Some years 77 might be enough to get World Tour, and it might not be. It'll be high-end Continental Pro, which means we should at least have a better chance of getting some races next year at the World Tour level, but we barely got any invites this season as one of the last World Tour or Continental Pro teams. If we're still Continental Pro, we can't count on that, meaning finances are still going to be tricky next year. If, on the other hand, we do end up qualifying World Tour, we could afford to spend some more, and we'll have money left over, and we might be able to go after a couple guys, maybe, late on re-sign Mugisha or something. I don't know. We'll figure it out. It's going to be an interesting signing period. I'll give it that much. That's going to do it for this episode, though. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe. See you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there. Bye for now.